Welcome to the BloxShop. In this video, we're going to build a parade float. It's almost Thanksgiving, and Goldie's building a float for the Thanksgiving Day parade. Want to build your own float just like Goldie's? Let's get started. You'll find everything you need in the spinning machine, parade float, and builder's survival kit. Remember, you can pause the video anytime if you need to catch up. Step 1. Let's start with the base of the front and middle sections. Add 2 long axles and a short axle to the blue pegboard. Push them through the pegboard so the ends of the axles stick out. In the last corner, add a mini axle. Now add 2 short axles and 2 long axles to the green pegboard. Be sure to push them all through the pegboard just like before. Step 2. Now create a set of wheels from 2 corner joints, a wheel, and an axle. Make another just like it, but this time add 2 short axles to the ends. Attach the wheels to the front and middle of the float so the sections are connected. Now add 2 elbow joints, a wheel, and a short axle together. Make another just like it. Attach these sets of wheels to the other ends of the float. Step 3. Create the base for the rear section with the big blue pegboard by adding 8 mini axles to it. Now add short axles, wheels, and 4-way joints to create 2 sets of wheels. Add them to the mini axles. Now repeat the process with axles, wheels, and T-joints to complete the base. Step 4. Let's start with the front section. Add mini axles, angle joints, and blocks to the front of the pegboard to create a hitch. Now add blocks to the top of all your axles. Use a short axle, wheel, and crank to create an even bigger crank. Add a short axle and block to create a stopper. This will keep your crank in place later. Now it's time for some craftstruction. Get your parents' permission to use scissors and glue to create a pinwheel. Add 2 wheel hubs, wheel ends, spacers, and a short axle together and slide on your pinwheel. Use the noodle belt to connect the pinwheel and the crank. Step 5. Add 5-way joints, a short axle, and a wheel to the short axles. Now add 2 more short axles and top them all off with blocks. Use short axles, mini axles, and 2 couplers to connect all the blocks. Now for some more craftstruction. Cut a rectangle out of a piece of paper and use a hole puncher to make 4 holes in the corners. Add 4 short axles to the top of the blocks and slide the paper onto them. Now add popcorn joints and 2 flexi axles to the top. Use angle joints, flexi axles, mini axles, and 5-way joints to create the top of the tower. Now use the umbrella from your builder's survival kit and a spacer to complete the tower. Let's create another big crank at the back of the pegboard with a short axle, wheel, and crank. Step 6. Add paper punch-outs, washers, short axles, and blocks to create a railing. Connect them all together with long axles, long flexi axles, mini axles, and blocks. Time to create the swing. Start with a large wheel end, wheel, star coupler, spacer, and long axle. Then use a coupler to add another long axle, spacer, and large wheel end. Now add the platform from the builder's survival kit. Use 2 cords, 4 wheel ends, and 4 wheel hubs to create the swings. Make sure to push the string through the holes of the platforms before tying the swings on. Almost there! Finish the swings by adding a wheel end, washer, and spacer to the top. Step 7. Now let's put it all together. Use 2 long flexi axles to connect the middle and rear sections of the float. Use suction cups, star stoppers, washers, pegs, and spacers to make your float totally bloxsome. Oh, I almost forgot! Attach a ribbon to the bottom of the swing. Twist the crank and watch the swings fly. Add one more ribbon to the hitch in the very front so you can pull the parade float along. You're ready to go, and just in the nick of time, the parade is starting. See you Thanksgiving Day! There's more where that came from. Check out all the latest videos from GoldieBlox.